Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to talk about spoilers. What's up, guys? Uncle Hunter here, and here we are going to do a breakdown / spoiler discussion for chapter 256 of Jujutsu Kaisen, which is known as the Decisive Battle in the Uninhabited Demon Infested Shinjuku, Part 28. I think 8. And ladies and gentlemen, you could call this your average spoiler discussion, but you aren't looking at the average spoiler discussion anymore. No, you're going to be looking at a court case. A court case on the analysis of the efficacy, the potency, and the plausible deniability of a certain system mechanic, and that will be the Black Flash. But we have so much to talk about, and there's oh so little time. So let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. Editing B, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do happen to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, Gojo Satoru. He's back! Not actually, but he's going to be used to explain system mechanics. And I do think this is nice. Once again, I think I'm personally still in the camp that I don't want Gojo to come back. I'm against it. I know there's been a bunch of stuff. Like, I've seen 2 things that are, like, really gotten the whole community, like, flipping burgers. Flipping their lids, I think, is the more accurate summation there. Flipping their lids, losing their minds, going crazy, doing a hop and a jig. It is the first thing, that extra image that came from Volume 26, which seemed to show Gojo's eyes opening up, like shock. Oh, wow. Like he's being resurrected. I legit just think that's him getting hit by the dismantle. Like the world explained. I think that's legit just that. It's the pain of being actually bisected. I think that's what that is. I don't think that's him, like, resurrecting. Though I will admit, the community went to work instantaneously. I love the image. Like, I've seen the image of him, like, the closed eyes, the one where he's laid out, obviously, when we first found him dead. And the contrast to that with the opening eye, that is beautiful. I love the way that fan artists have taken that. That's wonderful. The other thing, there was apparently a long stream talking about the release of Volume 26. And then at the end, we saw an empty airport with 2, and there were apparently 2 different planes leaving. And of course, if you remember 236, it was all about the airport going north, going south, changing, doing the same, this, that, the other. And a lot of people have taken that as, well, Gojo took a different plane. He went, I forget which one. I forget what the metaphor was, but something about going north or going south was like return or change or something like that. So a lot of people are assuming Gojo changed. He went and he hopped on a plane back to the real world and he's going to resurrect. Either way, I still kind of don't want him back. Because here's the thing, right? My biggest thing that makes me kind of not want this guy back. And then, don't get me wrong, I'm still a Gojo Glazer to my core. Like, I still love Gojo. But I feel like, unlike Sukuna, his ideology and his philosophies didn't actually die with him. And, like, they're currently being tested right now. Like, notably, remember Gojo's whole goal and belief system, in spite of what 236 somewhat hinted at when it was first released, and what I thought it was trying to say when it was first released after a reread. I don't think it's actually trying to say this. Gojo did believe in the potential of the future. The power of the next generation. This, that, and the third. He doesn't believe it should be all up to the old head. Why did I try to say old heads like that? It shouldn't be all up to the old heads to take care of all the problems for the kids. They can help. They can support. Look at Kusakabe. Look at Mei Mei. They're definitely there helping and supporting. But ultimately, the people that Sukuna must fall to isn't Gojo. It isn't any of the old generation. I know Gojo's like 28, so he's not that old. But he's not even really old. If Gojo's old, I can't imagine how old I am. But with that being the case, it's not just that they should do everything. The kids should take over. It's kind of like how Goku was viewing the whole thing in the Buu Saga. No matter how stupid that was, just like, because he could argue how stupid Gojo believing the next generation should take care of this is. No matter how stupid you may think that is, it is essentially the same mentality, where it's the next generation needs to step up and take care and protect and prepare their generation after that and foster strength, essentially. So while Gojo can fall, and fall permanently with no resurrection, and that'd be perfectly fine, if Sukuna falls, he's wrong. If he loses, he's wrong. And he lost to Gojo in the ideological battle. And I think that's what JJK is all about when you break it down to its fundamental cores. It's the ideological battle. The value of the individual versus the value of the group. The value in yourself versus the value you see in others. And the ever-present clashing of that. Of course, Sukuna represents the value of oneself, absolute assertion and elevation of oneself. Meanwhile, Gojo Satoru believed in the approximation and the raising and belief of others, and right now their ideologies are currently clashing. And it's not like Gojo isn't helping still. Remember, even Laru mentions at the start of 255, wow, he left us a gift, quite a good one. His domain is still down, his output's still in the trash, his brain is still damaged, like, everything is still bad. Very, very bad for Sukuna right now, all because of Gojo. So it's not like Gojo isn't helping, and a big reason why I don't want him back, I'll be honest with you, from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of it, all the way down there in the depths of my heart, if you bring him back now, I think Sukuna, maybe this is wrong of me to say, I think Sukuna's a bit too weak at this point. Like, Yuji's already done so much soul damage to him. The black flashes, as we'll see this chapter, aren't actually that effective. His slashes aren't really that effective. Nothing Sukuna's done is really that effective. And of course, he's still holding back massively. But I think if you bring back Gojo Satoru at this point, it'd be a bit too much. Like, I'm even hesitant to bring back Yuta Okotsu. And I know that sounds crazy, but like, I don't know. Sukuna low-key smells like a Jacob's Ladder victim right now. Like, what's going to stop Yuta from showing up in the heavens and hitting that and then immediately vaporizing Sukuna if he really felt like it? Now the talk of Gojo Satoru, who's still numerous tears about the rest of the cast and crew. So like, I don't know if I'm fully okay with his resurrection. I'm fine with the copium though, and I'll go more in depth properly in another video talking about it. And there's a way I'd be fine with it, and I've kind of hinted at it before. It's very similar to what happens in Shibuya with Toji, but that's a completely different thing. Plays into the ideas of like gods and fate and the JJK world itself. Like, it's more complicated than for the start of a spoiler discussion. I just want to talk about it because I've heard a bunch of people freaking and geeking about it, and of course Gojo appears at the start of this chapter. But obviously, all that yapping aside, why is Gojo appearing at the start of this chapter? Well, of course, it's to explain the mechanic of Black Flash, but not necessarily just explain the mechanic of Black Flash, but explain the mechanic of Black Flash and why he isn't always hitting them. Because if you remember, what Black Flash is the application of cursed energy and a physical hit within 0.00001% of each other. Or 1 second. You need to do that in order to hit a Black Flash. And naturally, when Gojo Satoru has the six eyes, the things that allow him to perceive time literally faster, control his cursed energy down to the atomic level, and have the highest efficiency literally ever, why isn't every single one of his hits a Black Flash? Like why not? Like, shouldn't they always be, considering he can see cursed energy that finely, he can control it that well? Why is he so fraudulent? Why could he not simply always land Black Flashes? And that's honestly something I didn't even consider, because my brain's not that big. It's like my brain is about the size of the eraser on this pencil. And you may be like, pencil man, I only see the top sliver of an eraser. And that's how big my brain is. But with that being the case, Gojo essentially explains that while that is true, it's a nice idea, it's a cool concept, it's a sweet thought that they believe that he could, just automatically produce based on his finite cursed energy control. It's essentially what he kind of explains here, at least from my understanding of the rough translations, is that it's not just a matter of, it's just pure cursed energy control, it's all that refinement, it's everything. No, it is like genuinely a matter of the system mechanics and whether or not they want to work with you. Like, for any of my RPG players out there, or I guess like, there are a lot of games with critical hits. You ever been trying to build a crit build? And whether it be in Smite, whether it be in Fire Emblem, whether it be in Pokemon, whether it be in anything that has crit mechanics that you can try and build a crit build around, and then like, it just never works. Like you literally have like 97% crit, but that 3% there, I'm legit thinking Fire Emblem Engage right now. But like, I have a whole character with a crit build. They will have 97% crit sometimes because I didn't meet all the conditions. Like, they'll be like 3 points off from having complete wrath because I built them too strong and they couldn't take enough damage for 100% crit. They will legit not crit with that 3% crit missing. That's what Gojo essentially explains here. Sometimes the system just doesn't work for you. Sometimes the system is just like, I don't really feel like giving it to you like that. It's a matter of not just skill, not just efficacy, not just application, but also genuine real-life luck. And that makes sense, because remember, Yuji, who had just figured out how to properly control his cursed energy with Toto that very same day, tied Nanami's record. Do you think it's because Yuji has the six eyes? You think it's because Yuji is just that guy? He knows how to control his cursed energy? No. It's because he's lucky, and he managed to land a lot of good hits, and he's a prodigy. It wasn't just because Yuji could perceive it. So essentially, while Gojo may have a higher probability, and he may have a better understanding of cursed energy, the system itself would still work against him to some degree. He wouldn't be able to consistently land Black Flashes. And That is unfortunate, but at the same time, can you imagine a Gojo who was always landing Black Flashes? Who's surviving it? Well, actually, depending on how far do you think Black Flash is, I guess a lot of characters are surviving it. But with that being the case, we see Gojo essentially wave off the concept. But give me some time. Let me cook a little bit, and I can whip it up. But you know why we're talking about Black Flash. And you know why we're going to be doing the investigation of Black Flash as a system mechanic. I'm not gonna say Black Flash is looking a little bit fraudulent. But it may be. But everyone looks on. Everyone bear witness to the one who was free. To the one who left it all behind. In his overwhelming obsidian intensity. They all bear witness to the king of curses. Steeped in the obsidian power of 2 Vanta Black Flashes. And notably, everyone starts to freaking geek. Because they know that, well, shoot, if Gojo was starting to pop off after he hit 2 Black Flashes, and this is the king of curses, and we've been trying to lower his output all this time, and he's going to start getting on a roll. Yeah, they're all worried. For good reason. And notably, Sukuna does look quite devious in this panel. So I understand why they're all reasonably freaking geeked. Though one thing I will admit, darn, bro, they really beat the taste out this man. Like, notably, I'm not saying he looks awful, but I'm also not saying he looks good. Like, look at this. Look, arms beat up. His arm ain't coming back. Well, admittedly, to be fair, we can't even see. Is this his upper arm or his lower arm? It looks like his upper arm. But then again, I feel like maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I can't tell if this is the arm that Maki cut off, or I think so, because it's more level with this arm than it is with this arm. So this is probably the upper arm. Look at the mouth. It's still dripping. He's still got that gaping chest wound. He's still got all that. Like, darn. Somewhat, Sukuna. I know everyone believes the 10 Shadows is cooked. Whip out Max Elephant, Myriad Elephant, whatever you want to call it, and give yourself a bath, bro. You look nasty. Like, this is definitely an intimidating and cool panel. I love the 4 characters used to highlight Sukuna's overwhelming power here. Maki, the pinnacle of humanity. Yuji, the empty king's vessel. Miguel, the strongest sorcerer world away. And the death painting, Choso. Like, this is quite the solid crew to officiate and enunciate the overwhelming power of the king of curses. But, like, even while they look all a little bit beat up, except for Miguel. Miguel's looking buttery and clean. Once again, he's been untouched. He's the only character to have yet to be hit by Sukuna, I'm pretty sure. But Sukuna, bro, go take a bath or something, dog. You need it. You are in dire need of it, bucko. You are definitely fiending for it right now. But speaking of fiending for it, they are fiending for these combos on Ryoma and Sukuna because they immediately go to work. And one thing I do love here, I love. Well, there are a couple things about this panel in particular. I love how Choso of all characters is the one that hits Sukuna with the and just kick him back. Like, okay, Choso, I was not familiar with your game, bucko. And this doesn't seem like it's flowing red scale or anything. This is just base Choso who's like, boy, if you don't, and he just drop kicks Sukuna back. Well, not drop kick. I'm not sure what you would call this kick. Once again, your boy is not a fighter. But one thing I also do love, but I think it's a mistake. It's a mistake. And if anything, she should just dip out for a little bit and come back with another sneak attack at this point. Because look at how Sukuna, he gets hit by Choso. Or, I'm not sure if he gets hit here or if Sukuna weaves him entirely. But Sukuna's just like, I see you. I can't. Like, notably, he's so locked in on Maki. Like, arguably even more than he's locked in on Yuji, right? And notably, I'd say it really depends. Who do you think is more a bigger threat to Sukuna right now? Like, especially considering Maki has cleanly revealed that in spite of getting slammed by a Black Flash and getting kicked out for a whole chapter, she's still not necessarily going for it when she really should be going for it. Maki has revealed she's not really, taking Sukuna's life or anything, even when she gets the opportunity to. So who's more dangerous? The guy who can knock Sukuna's soul control down and, like, lower his output drastically like Yuji, or the woman who can remove his limbs? I know it sounds like a strange question, but look at this. He's legit, while Yuji's coming in with a whole steel pole ready to impale Sukuna, he's just straight, no. Like, he's straight, stay away, don't do this. Like, he's genuinely, I'm not saying he's terrified of Maki or anything, but he's genuinely taking her the most seriously, which goes to show a testament to Maki's overwhelming power, right? Like, clearly, I would say at this point, Maki, even with Miguel here, is probably still the strongest asset on the field at this point, which is why Sukuna's probably focusing her so hard. But I also think this is a testament to who he finds more dangerous. Like, despite the fact that Yuji could, out of nowhere, Randy Orton just boom and knock his output down, or heck, land Black Flashes. hypothetically. Speaking purely hypothetically. He could land a Black Flash. Maybe. I don't know when he would land one, though. I feel like Yuji could just never get into the zone right now. So maybe he could never land a Black Flash. Maybe Black Flash was the friendly man along the way. But with that being the case, he's so focused on Maki that even as Yuji gets this close, as Choso's attacking and all that, he's still, like, straight staring at Maki. And admittedly, she is actively trying to stab him. And, he's like, I don't want to come off as a Maki meat muncher. And please, tell me what you guys think. Tell me who you think is more dangerous to Sukuna right now. But I do think Maki definitely does count as more dangerous than Yuji right now. Because the thing is, right, while neither of their damage is permanent, since Sukuna has an understanding of the outline of his soul, meaning he can heal whatever damage Maki does to him, and Yuji Todori, obviously, while not having an understanding, well, he has an understanding of the outline of his soul and Sukuna's soul, and he's able to attack and lower his output. The thing is, a lot of Yuji's hits aren't necessarily as visceral, nor as, like, instantaneously dangerous. Like, right now, when I'm thinking of all the major damage that's been done to Sukuna, like, actual body part destroying damage, it all came from Yuta. Like, and hey, all credit to Yuta. Every single Yuta fan out there, rejoice. But, like, I'm thinking of all the serious damage he's taken since he's incarnated. It was Yuta who ripped out his tongue. It was Yuji who held out Sukuna's arm so Yuta could slash it off. It was Rika who held out Sukuna's arm so he could get torn apart. Like, it's mostly been Yuta who's been out here doing, like, crazy lethal body damage. Meanwhile, a lot of Yuji's hits, while they're nulling him and they're dulling Sukuna's blade, so to speak, they aren't necessarily doing any visceral damage. Meanwhile, Maki's, like, actively removing his limbs and, like, vital organs every single time she gets a chance. So I'm not exactly sure what Maki's swinging for here, because notably Sukuna is countering her with his upper body and clashing with her there. But notably, you do see her hitting the on guard. Like, so I'm not sure what she's aiming for. At this point, I'd just be going for a leg. I'll be real. I think that's the next big step. He took his arms. He's going to slowly start regenerating those back. But the biggest issue they have right now is Sukuna keeps slipping away. You're going to see it in a second. Sukuna keeps slipping away. Keeps scurrying away with them little bare feetsies of his. So I'd be being real. Take a whole leg off. I think he's so used to you attacking the upper body at this point, you might as well just do something like this. He just head straight for his leg. Because at that point, what's he going to do? Hobble away on one foot? Pogo stick around everywhere? I think that'd lower his movement efficiency a whole bunch. But with that being the case, we see Yuji lunges in with the iron bar, and Choso, he realizes it's combo time. It's big bro, little bro combo time. And they hit him with this. This is a devious triple combo. Here's the thing though. I'll completely admit, where does Maki go? Like, she was legit right here. She was, like, right on top of bro. And I don't see, like, she's still here as Yuji gets close with the iron bar. So, like, where does she disappear to? Why did she just vanish? Like, it's not like Sukuna knocks her away or anything, at least from what I can tell from these rough images. It just looks like she just randomly decides to vanish to let the bros get their combo in. And don't get me wrong, this panel is gas. I love Yuji locking Sukuna in like he's on a roller coaster, like, don't worry, the attendant will lock you in shortly. And boom, locking Sukuna in, getting him ready for the piercing blood roller coaster that Choso comes in with this clean combo from the top rope. I love it. It looks beautiful. It looks delicious. It looks scrumdiddlyumptious. But, like, where did she vanish to? Why is she not taking his leg right here, right now? It's right there. It's jacked and juicy, perfect for the taking. It looks like a tree trunk. Cut it down, Maki. But of course, it's Sukuna, and he, for some reason, is so against getting hit by Choso's piercing blood. Like, I don't know. He has a specific vendetta against Choso, and he just teleports. Notably, I guess maybe you can argue they left enough space for him to, like, either limbo down or, like, leap out from the top. But at this point, bro's basically just teleporting. Like, look at how close Choso is. Like, there's probably this much distance between Sukuna's head and Choso. Choso's right here. And we see the piercing blood launch off right here, and Sukuna's all the way over here. I know he's fast, alright? But at this point, the physics ain't physicking. Like, I don't know how else to say it. First, he was out here teleporting through buildings against Maki, where he, like, hit Maki with a dismantle that sent her through another building, and he somehow met her on the opposite floor. Like, on the same floor she got slammed into, coming down the hallway. Somehow, because he can teleport. And there's another case of just straight Sukuna teleportation. Or, like, he limboed out or leaped out. I need to see how the anime handles this. I want to see how the anime handles a lot of Sukuna's little teleportation instances, because this is getting ludicrous. But speaking of ludicrous, Sukuna, he he played his Kingdom Hearts 2. You know, his favorite character is Roxas, and thusly he reversaled right on out of there. And we see that Maki, she gave him a little break. She was like, you know what? I'll let the brothers wombo combo you, but this is still my story for real, for real. And and I love it because Sukuna's like, wait a second. Where is she? Oh, she's to my right! Or no, to my left! And we see Maki, I think she straight burst through the glass or burst through a whole wall to just beam Sukuna straight into the wall. And if there's one thing I will admit, one thing I do like is consistent, at least for me, Maki is the one who's consistently throwing Sukuna around. Anyone, except, the only other person, there are two other people to do it. It's Laru with Heart Catch. Laru with Heart Catch did manage to grab Sukuna and slam him into a wall, but it was, and I guess Rika and Yuta are the other two, really. Because Yuta does hit Sukuna with that devious uppercut that does seem to take him off the ground. But I'm talking like big money movement, like slamming him into things. Maki's one of three. And Laru used an entire large-scale hand curse technique, which Sukuna probably couldn't resist as easily. And Rika's a gigantic pseudo-Shikigami curse thing that managed to throw Sukuna around. So I love that Gege is keeping it consistent, that Maki, in terms of just like our physical fighters with physicals, that sounds so stupid, but hear me out. She's the one who's able to like properly manhandle Sukuna and like put him places. Like she straight up pins him to the wall here, and he needs to grab Soul Split to be like, nope, not my lungs. I need those to speak. But then again, we know Sukuna's body's like weirdly deformed. Like notably, I don't understand his whole stomach situation. I don't know how he functions. I don't know what's there. Like, notably, I guess you could argue his lungs could be in the same spot, because, like, his stomach mouth is essentially where our belly button is, and our lungs are in our ribcage, obviously. So maybe his lungs should be fine, but, like, does he not, like, I know it's gonna sound weird, are his intestines in his legs? Because, like, there's so much empty space there because of the size of the tummy mouth. So, like, I have no idea where the entire lower body organ system is going. But regardless of all that, we see Maki slam Sukuna into a wall, but as I hate to say it, I'm gonna say it. I know that the people who think I'm just a Maki meat muncher, which I am. I'm not lying or trying to deny. I am a Maki meat muncher. But if there's one thing I do have to give to any sort of Maki haters, she's really struggling to land a hit the moment Sukuna knows she's there. Every single hit she's landed, or at least hit that actually did something serious. Like, obviously she's landed hits on him. She bull tackled him through a building in 253, and then like back tackled a pillar to knock him through it. So like clearly she's landed hits, but I'm talking like serious, like take an arm off, do a slash bit of damage, anything that doesn't get reacted to or somewhat guarded by Sukuna. It's only when he doesn't know she's there, like last chapter when she showed up out of nowhere and took his arm off, or when she pierced his heart when the domain fell. Once she's like an active part of Sukuna's vision and sensory, she just does not land hits. It is insane. I don't know why. Well, I know why. Because that's the thing. I guess you can't, because once again, Maki's damage is a bit more permanent than the others. Well, not permanent. It's harder to take care of than the others, so that's why Sukuna's probably taking it the most seriously. But at the same time, Maki, we are not beating the Sneak Nation allegations. Maki, you need to cook a little bit more. Please, I'm begging you, cook a little bit more. Just do a little bit extra without sneaking them. I don't get me wrong. I understand you're a proud member of Sneak Nation. I get it. It runs in the Heavenly Restriction family. At least the Zero Cursed Energy Heavenly Restriction duo, y'all are the leaders of Sneak Nation. But we need you to do something beyond Sneak Nation. And we see that Maki, I'm not sure what actually happens here. Are these dismantles? These slashes here? Is she dodging these dismantles? I don't fully get what's going on here in terms of this instance. I don't fully understand it. But we see that Maki, I think this does confirm that this is blood that Maki herself spat up before from the impact. Because notably, I couldn't really tell at last chapter based on how the arm slashed. The arm that she slashed fell. I thought possibly that was Sukuna's blood that like landed on her, but based on the fact that it's coming out of her mouth here, I do think this is blood from the previous Black Flash that she ate, which does at least imply to me that was all Maki. A lot of people were theorizing that maybe Maki got picked up by Ui, and then Choco just quickly, hey-ah! And like smacked Maki and she healed back up. But at least based on this, it seems like Maki just like fully auto-regened on her own, which is relatively good. Not too good, though, because she still was out for at least 5 minutes, which is what she needed to heal against Curse Naoya. Which is... It ain't the best. It's not horrid. It's not, like, negative or bad or anything. It's not like Maki's healing factor is garbage, but, like... It ain't RCT. Let's just say that. It's not RCT to the point where she's still, like, dripping from the mouth and stuff like that. And it took her, like, a whole chapter to recover. However, one thing I do love, and I wish we got more of it. I get we can't have too much of it. Once again, Maki, while I love her, she's not necessarily that important. We start to see these two do battle in the ways that only these two can. They start straight air hopping everywhere, and I love... Look at Choso. Bro's like... Are they? Choso's like... Are my eyes deceiving me? Do my eyes deceive me? Are those two fighting on air? Which is funny, but it makes sense. Because I don't think anyone, like... How do you even bring that up in conversation? Like, were they just explaining their powers one day? Or like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a death painting, I can control blood, my own blood, and like, I can produce a whole bunch of it. You're just like, oh, well, yeah, I figured out soul seizing punches and all that. You're just like, oh yeah, I can copy techniques. And Maki's like, I can hop off air. You can what? I can hop off air. Like, I don't actually need the ground and stuff like that to, do battle. I can just move in the air. Which is crazy. And it's something only these two can do. It's one thing I'll admit. Well, I'm fine with Sukuna versus Maki being one chapter. Once again, I'm fine with her getting less than Akotsu. She's less important than Akotsu. I'm fine with her getting less... I'm a little bit disappointed in her getting less than Kajima, but still, we're getting that supplementary stuff here. I feel like this aspect of both of their fighting styles, that is something only these two can do. At least the two living ones right now. Like, obviously, Toji could do it too, clearly. And other characters can definitely fly. But notably, this aspect of battle where they're legit using the air as a foothold and, like, rising off of the air and doing these slashes and clashes, like, it's something only they can do. And in 253, they don't really do too much with it. I'm fine with we're getting a hint of it now, but I really wish we could get more of it. And, like, drastically broaden the scale of it. Because this feels similar to the scale of when it was 15-finger Meguna versus Maki in midair. And even then, they had footholds then. I'm talking, like, straight have them dashing across the air and flying, like, higher into the sky and clashing with each other. That would be cool, but we just get this slight instance of it and Choso's genuine confusion as he sees two people who have yet to show the ability to fly basically start flying. But... Stop! Sukuna, stop! Like, look at this face. Look at this face. He's genuinely tweaking it. I don't know what it is. I'm telling you, every single time Maki shows up, he locks in. I don't know why. The moment Maki showed up and removed his arm last chapter, he was like, okay, come here, Laru. He landed a Black Flash. First Black Flash, who'd he landed on? Maki. He goes for a 3-peat. Who's he go for the 3-peat against for? Maki. What is it? Is it legit? It has to be a pride thing. It has to be a pride / mania / interesting. Because there's no reason this man consistently locks in the moment Maki shows up. Like, this is such a devious... You know what he's going for. There's no intent for peace behind those eyes. He wants all smoke and he's going to take it. And he legit... He just straight in midair is like, hold this for me. I need you to. Thank you. And Black flashes Maki. And seemingly enough, don't get me wrong, once the scans are cleaner, I'll probably be able to tell better. It doesn't look like she guards this one. It looks like, unlike the one in 253, where you can kind of explicitly see Maki, after her sword gets dragged away, you can see Maki, like, wow, and, like, somewhat catch it with her left hand. I think it was her left hand. This one, I don't know if she caught that bad, but I think she just legit ate that one. And that's crazy. Remember, this is a Sukuna who has yet to be tagged by Yuji this chapter. Like, you can argue maybe the railing counted, but I kind of don't think it did. So this is just a Sukuna off 2 Black Flashes that lands a concurrent third one on Maki, and she survives. Survives and, like, well, is definitely worse for wear. Doesn't immediately perish. That's why you go. And notably, he gives her no time to rest. As she's reeling from the Black Flash, he immediately cross-sections her. He's like, I'm sick and tired of you dodging my gosh darn dismantles. You're gonna eat one of them! And he immediately hits her with a cross slash. And Maki's like, oh shoot, that hurt way more than the last one did. Which I'm assuming she's referencing like the cleave she got hit by. But she notices that Sukuna is genuinely starting to regain his output. And once again, I don't know. I feel like, and here's the thing. This is definitely a case of pure hypocrisy. So here I want to say this. And also when I say this, I will give the same disclaimer I always give. I may in fact be that guy with a pencil. I am not a mangaka. I could never be a mangaka. I never planned to be a mangaka. Producing anything serially other than videos, your boy could never do. Never. Never, ever, ever. You would have to pay me millions. And I know that does not happen. You would have to pay me way too much money to produce anything in any sort of serialized format, because that is crazy. But darn, I don't know. Sukuna, like, does he... Because admittedly, I'm guilty of this, and I'm planning to do it soon, so I can actually, like, control myself whenever I do my own art stuff, so I can, like, actually have reference sheets. Does he not have a reference sheet for Forearm Sukuna? Like, I don't know. This just looks so ugly. Like, it genuinely... I'm more so a fan of... I always reference back, but hey, it's the main popular piece of media that I can come to that has characters with forearms. I'm more a bigger fan when we go with the Ben 10 style, where the upper arms are just bigger and kind of like consume the lower arm. Not like literally, but like notably, if you look at forearms in Ben 10 across all the iterations of the series, except for like maybe the reboot, typically what they'll do for the forearms state or the forearm characters, they'll have the lower arms be somewhat smaller than the upper pair of arms, and they'll compress. So you don't get this ugly looking double body effect. And here's the thing, I know Gege can draw it that way. I've seen Gege do it. The two ways I prefer when Gege does it is either exactly similar to the forearm style, where you do kind of skip over the lower set of pectorals and just have the lower set of arms to be smaller and kind of fold into the other set, rather than this, where it seems like the lower arms protrude larger than the upper arms. He just looks genuinely nasty here. Or you do what Gege has done from time to time, and I think in this very chapter, let me go back earlier, I think he even does the double pectorals thing. No, see, this he kind of goes more for the Ben 10 approach, where they're... Well, actually, maybe this is double pectorals, but essentially, I'm thinking of the one image where Sukuna crosses his arms and has his hands on his hips. That's a case where he has the double pectorals, and I think that looks fine, too. Because notably, if you didn't know, your pectorals are what support your arm motion. That's why you feel... When you do push-ups, you feel it in your chest, and so on and so forth. And bench press, which is for your chest, like, that's because your arms are linked directly to your pectorals. There's like, I think there's literally like a tendon there. Like, I think it's like right here where the tendon is. Which is why I don't mind when Gege does the double pectorals, or just ignores the second set of pectorals and just makes the lower set of arms smaller, because it looks more uniform. It goes more with the Dorito shape, which I know seems so weird. Like, what, Pencil, why are you going down this? And hey, I'm a guy who likes art, and I have my preferences. You want to keep that sort of Dorito shape, even when you have the second set of arms there. And Gege knows to do that sometimes. But then sometimes they go with, like, 2 Doritos. And it looks ugly. I'll be real. It looks ugly. Like, legit, just shrink this down. Shrink, and I get it, you can definitely argue, well, Pencil, he's making this motion, which is compressing, instead of his arms being fully wide to bare, like this, he's compressing his shoulders down. So maybe that's why it looks like that. But I don't know. It legit seems like the lower arms are just spread out genuinely decently farther than the upper arms, which causes this... he looks like a fused mech suit rather than a naturally four-armed being. And I really don't like it. I don't know. Once again, Gege flips back and forth between them. And I think it's just lack of a reference sheet, but I can't blame him, because I also don't have reference sheets for my characters yet. Any of my OCs or any of the designs I do, like, I still need to work on those myself. So, this is pure hypocrisy here. I just wanted to explain it because it bothers me. It bothers me, and this is my time to explain it. But with that being the case, Sukuna, he hits and then land slashes on Maki. And notably, unfortunately, we don't really see Maki for the rest of the chat. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't think I think that's it. I think this is the last appearance of Maki in the chapter. Yeah, we don't see her for the rest of the chapter. So, she's put back on healing timeout. But, hey, I'll give her credit. She does survive. Which is more than I could say for most people who not only get hit by the King's third Black Flash, but also the King's third Black Flash, and then an immediate cross slash. Good stuff, Miss Zenning. Good stuff. But of course, she's now back on healing timeout. She's been essentially knocked out of the chapter again. And we see that Choso's like, don't worry, Maki. I've got you. I don't know how you're hopping on air, but yeah! And activates Supernova, detonating the entire area where Sukuna is in. And Sukuna's like, I don't know what you think you are. I feel like you think you're way too important. I'm getting sick of the boy. I'm tired of the boy here. I even should have asked him, you're still here, because I was getting sick and tired of him. But you in particular, Mr. Death Painting, I'm getting sick and tired of it. And from the smoke, from the ashes, from the dust, comes out a dual slash. Now, notably, I'm not sure if they're becoming more visible. I'm not sure if Choso can perceive them. But, like, regardless, Sukuna just decides to sandwich, bro. Like, shockingly, I know y'all are gonna get. I need to play more fighting games. I need to get better at Guilty Gear so I can start more consistently referencing Guilty Gear. Ironically enough, it's just another Arxis game. But with that being the case, I need to reference something else. But this legit feels like a mix-up. Like it feels like you're playing base Vegeta, Bardock. You set some. Well, actually, no. I need to think of a projectile. That's the thing. All the teams I use don't really have projectile assist. But this legit feels like a 50-50. Sukuna's like, okay, you're going to get hit by something. Whether it be the dismantle slashes I sent to you, whether it be this cross slash, or it be me, you're going to get hit. Like, it feels like he just straight up put Choso in a mix situation. Unguardable 50-50. And Choso's like, oh no. I'm in an unguardable 50-50. And then he immediately has to deal with it. However, to Choso's credit, while he does get hit, he doesn't, like, take insane amounts of damage. Like, Sukuna seems to knock him away before the slashes can actually hit him. Which, I'm not sure if he, like, indirectly saved Choso's life here, but considering these slashes are stronger than ones previously, I think by grabbing Choso and then throwing him out the way, he actually saved Choso's life. But, it was not out of the goodness of Sukuna's heart. Because as you can see, he lands his 4th black flat. I don't get it. I don't. But here's my thing, though. Here's my thing. I will admit, once again, like I mentioned at the start of this flow discussion, which is it? Is Black Flash fraudulent? Is the multiplier just not the multiplier? Or is Sukuna really that weak right now? The man who can still perception blitz piercing bloods, still tag Maki, still do all this crazy stuff. But you mean to tell me his Black Flashes aren't like like vaporizing characters? Like Maki eats the 3rd Black Flash after Sukuna has yet to be nerfed. So he should be somewhat closer to his full power. And she eats it. She eats it and then needs to be wombo comboed after by dismantles to be properly removed from the chapter. Initially, she may have kept fighting if she didn't immediately get tagged by 2 dismantles here. So, like, what's the word? Is bird the word? I don't know. What's the word? And then not only that, we see Sukuna, he hits but then he lands one on Choso, and then Choso not only manages to survive it, but apparently, bro blocked it. His hands are all the way up. It's Sukuna. Are you just... I get he's playing around. I know he's playing around. But, like, dog, what is with this? First, Maki palms your first one. Then Laru survives your second one. And then you got Choso out here. Well, Maki also survives the third one. Your third one. And then Choso's out here catching the 4th one. Sukuna! I'm not saying... Like, I get it. He's definitely holding back and messing around. But golly, dog. Like, how am I supposed to take Black Flash serious? As a 2.5 times exponential multiplier if characters are able to deal with it so well. Like, and notably, I don't know, maybe it's just me, I feel like these should be, like, digging into characters. Like, his fist should generally be, like, buried in their ribs or something with how much force he's hitting with. But no, they all manage to stay relatively sturdy. Of course, you know, Choso actively uses a whole chunk of his blood to, like, crystallize it and take the hit. So maybe he got pierced a bit, but I don't know. It looks like this is his fist still on the outside of Choso. So these Black Flashes, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But, of course, we see that Choso didn't just catch the Black Flash to defend himself. He said, you may have tried to hit me with a 50-50. But have you ever heard of Wake Up Mix? And Sukuna's like, what the heck is Wake Up? Boom! He did, in fact, not hear of the post Cell level 3, wake up mix. Bro did not get 50-50. He got comboed. As we see that Ryomen Sukuna got slobber knocked off the brother of Yuji Itadori by Yuji Itadori himself. And I'll admit, that one was just plain disrespectful. Bro said, hold on, you duffing people? I got you. Boom! And duffed him straight across the face. And I don't know why. Something about this one is just so funny to me. Like, the fact that not only does Yuji hit him hard enough that you see, like, his cheek genuinely fold, but he straight up, like, he looks like a whole cartoon character. Knocked out. And he gets knocked genuinely far back by Yuji. I think he joins the club. Yeah, this is where Yuji joins the club of characters who just, like, can fully bully beast Sukuna around. You could argue this is where he joins the club, but he's relatively close to the wall here. I don't think Sukuna even gets touched by Yuji here. He just gets sealed, quote-unquote, by the railing. But I think he joins the club of Yuta, Rika, Kusakabe. Kusakabe also did it. I do gotta give Kusakabe more credit. He did also he kicked Sukuna away. And now Yuji joins the club of hitting Sukuna hard enough to knock him around, just like Maki did earlier in this chapter, where she forces him into a wall. Yuji forces him off of Choso with this slobber knock. Just straight knocks him out. And notably, even knocks him out of Choso's blood. I guess I'll say he knocks Sukuna out of Choso's Giga Grip and sends him flying. And notably, you can see that Sukuna's arm. Well, actually, I can't tell if this is Sukuna's damaged arm. I think it should be, right? Because he hit Choso with the right. So notably, he hit Sukuna so hard that he took the blood cast with him. Like, the Giga Grip of Choso was actually dragged along to Sukuna. And now that hand is kind of sealed away, but it's still sealed away into fist form, so it's not useless. But maybe he can't do the pointed directional dismantles anymore, and now he just needs to rely on the no-motion ones, or just ones that spawn anywhere from his body. But Yuji does knock him back, and we see that things are getting a little bit devious. Choso, he's still focused in, he's locked in, and Yuji's locked in too, and he can even feel it. He's like, my main character status. It's flowing back into me. This overwhelming power. It's almost as if this is my story. And we see that Laru is alive. And notably, once again, I'll wait for translations, but if Laru survived it without using that heart catch technique, Black Flash is fraudulent. I'm just gonna say it. Laru should have been cooked. Should have been. I'm just gonna say it. You're telling me that they took a Black Flash from the King of Curses to the chest, and admittedly, Miguel has to support them right now, but they should be cooked. I mean, I'm happy they weren't, because they get to cook this chapter. But gosh darn it, either Sukuna's at 0.0000001% of his power, just like the interval for a Black Flash, or Black Flash just ain't like that for real. I'm slowly leaning towards the latter, dog. Too many characters surviving it and moving on and needing to be comboed by other things, hit by other things, or just don't end up falling. But we see Miguel and Laru there currently strolling along, and Laru has an idea. But with that idea being laid in place, boom, slams through another wall. Yuji and Sukuna are exchanging blows. Once again, though, we see that Sukuna managed to free his hand from the juice cast, and him and Yuji are trading. They're minking. They're having themselves a little grand old time. And Sukuna's like, oh, I got something for you, buddy. He grabs Yuji, pins him down, and I think he was gonna go for a cleave here. I can't fully tell, because it looks like he's going to do, like, I can't necessarily think of the character. Why is the character not coming to mind? Like, I've seen it before, though. I think we've all seen it before, where a character gets grabbed and then, boom, straight into the ground. I think he was going to, like, slam Yuji into the ground and then open his palm and just cleave him right then and there to kind of finish him off. But, in a very impressive display of reaction speed by Yuji, when Sukuna grabs him and goes to slam him down and possibly start cleaving him, Yuji he throws his hands up together over Sukuna's head, drags them beneath, and puts it straight to his domer. Now, this is interesting because apparently, once again, I'm going by the rough translations here, Sukuna is shocked to find that Yuji's about to unlock a whole piercing blood straight into his dome piece. But according to Choso, Yuji never figured out how to do convergence. He's a massive prodigy with extreme potential, but he never actually figured out convergence, meaning apparently Choso has to give him something to do piercing blood? I don't know. That is a little bit strange. But what I will admit, in retrospect, and I'm more than willing to be wrong on this, if you remember, way back when, during Higuruma. Yeah, Yuji, I thought that was Yuji who fired that piercing blood, because they didn't believe it was Choso, because Choso didn't show up for, like, a whole couple chapters after that. Like literally after. Choso did not show up until after the domain fight with Yuta. But I thought it was Yuji who fired that piercing blood. Maybe it wasn't, because if he can't do it on his own, how would he have fired that piercing blood? I don't know. That does seem strange, though, that Yuji can't do it. But that could explain why... But then again, he used convergence somewhat. No, he used supernova. I guess that technically wasn't convergence. He just burst his own blood that was in Sukuna's face. So maybe not. That's interesting that Yuji can't do that, though. Hopefully, he'll learn how to do it on his own soon. And hopefully, we'll see Flowing Red Scale Stack. I'm not sure if these gauntlet arms are meant to be Flowing Red Scale Stack or something, but I'm shocked. You think the one man who could definitely benefit from increasing his physicals, considering what his physicals do to Sukuna, would probably want to just keep increasing his physicals with, the technique that is innate to the Kamo clan that allows you to increase your physicals. Like, I'm not sure. Maybe it's because Yuji is worried about the drawbacks of it, but with his control over RCT and his strangely high amounts of curse energy, like, I feel like bro should be fine to do it. But he does prepare to hit Sukuna with that point-blank piercing blood. But Sukuna, I don't know, he just has a bias against the technique, and he dodges. But he doesn't dodge all of it. Note that Yuji does manage to tag him just a bit with the piercing blood. But Sukuna hits the, come on now, boy, you know you ain't like that for real. You ain't like me for real. Come on, kid. And we see that as Sukuna hit the, he dodged it. He didn't dodge everything. Because he immediately sends Yuji back. He's like, whoa. Give me some space. And let's talk about this. But we see, as Yuji, I'm not sure if he's thrown back here, if he gets hit with dismantles here. I want to say maybe it's a little slight mix of both, considering Yuji does close one of his eyes. But Yuji does drag his nails, and I do love this. He drags his nails into the ground to bring himself to a stop. And then he gets in the position. He's like, wait a minute. I'm feeling the vibes right now. And Sukuna's like, wait a minute. He's feeling the vibes right now. He notices that Yuji's about to land a Black Flash. This is an interesting phenomenon. Apparently, they reference here that back in Shibuya, I think it was either Yuji felt that Mahito was going to hit a Black Flash, or Mahito felt that Yuji was going to hit a Black Flash. But regardless, Black Flashes were in the air. And Sukuna knows, like, like, he knows he cannot get hit by that. So he gets ready to deal with it in some way, shape, or form. But suddenly, something just, it catches his heart. And we see that from downtown, from halfway across the room, a certain someone holds him still. I do love the fact, I think, well, maybe it's supposed to be both, but you can only see one of them because of the panel here. I do love that his eyes genuinely turn into hearts. And it's revealed that Laru just isn't able to use his technique to manifest the hand, but also legitimately catch the hearts of people. Which is something that the last chapter I thought talked against, but no. He's able to use heart catch in order to legitimately hold Sukuna in place. And we see that this is an opportunity that is not going to be allowed to go to waste. Because as Sukuna stands there, enraptured and captured. Oh no. Oh wow. No, I do love it. It is legit all the eyes. Look at the hearts. And even in the big bulbous eyes. He's locked in place. And Yuji's like, I got you, Big G. Boom! A Black Flash to end all Black Flashes. Golly. Look at the sparks, bro. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Like, golly, this is the blackest of Black Flashes I think we've ever seen. like note how Sukuna's Black Flashes, the other two he hits this chapter, while they're big, they don't have that many sparks to them. Like, once again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then, and that may be Maki, that may not even be a a flash. And once again, the one he lands on Choso, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But Yuji, when he lands his, it is massive, gargantuan. It's basically a full page of Black Flash. And once again, we'll see how this ends up playing out. Because we see this massive Black Flash pop off, meaning Sukuna's output should be drastically dropped from here, and possibly Yuji should have another way to dive into and get access to Megami again, and hopefully give him a pep talk to be like, wake up! Fight back! Please! Like just to start begging for Megami to wake up for a minute. But also, he's now in the zone. Yuji Itadori has locked in and is about to start awakening. But overall, a very, very dummy chapter. Interesting implications. Once again, I do think this chapter does put the efficacy of Black Flash into question, or the efficacy of Sukuna into question. One of the two. Either Sukuna just really ain't that hard hitting without his technique, which feels weird, considering how crazy his physicals are implied to be. Or Black Flash just isn't that strong. Like, it just isn't that big of a multiplier. Because I don't think Choso or Maki should have survived it. Especially Maki, considering the Black Flash she ate, unlike the last one, was completely unguarded. Like, it looks like she just generally got beamed in the chest by a Black Flash. And that didn't take her out. It was the 2 dismantles that she got tagged with afterwards that, like, really did numbers to her and removed her from the rest of the chapter. And, of course, Choso, you know, he got hit by one, too. But he not only managed to react to it and catch it in, like, a weird blood container, but also he's still alive and fully conscious and even able to help Yuji out with piercing blood. So, like, I don't know. Black Flash is kind of fraudulent, but it still looks cool. And that's what matters the most, you know what I'm saying? So overall, an extremely W chapter. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave the Prince of Black. I think I did King of Black last time, so the Prince of Black in the comment section down below. I do thank you so much for watching, including to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on every videos that come to the channel. Also, I do happen to have a Patreon down below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month. Down month, you get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. Some of those perks will include things such as the live reaction to this very chapter, ad-free variations of all my videos, and if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. And if you just want to do a one-time donation, a one-time video request, the Ko-fi link is in the description down below. Now, to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: O'Connor Plays, Greyhound, Akids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, Teen Midgao, Querencia Tala, and Red Wolf 4765. And I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Steron, Sean, Panda Goat, Midnight Lord 21, Marcus, Kevin, Igneal, and Ehac1. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $7 members: Autumn's Mornings Lazo and Sick Addiction. And I'd like to give a hefty thank you to our $10 member, Banana Phone. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 patrons: Joaquin, Jermaine, and Idem Okami. And I'd like to give a gargantuan thank you to our $25 patron, China Doll 09. And another gargantuan, juicy, scrumdiddlyumptious thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.